El octágono.
¿Cómo están, amigos del octágono? Le habla Randall el Flaco Villafañe. Aquí es de Bellator 58 en el Hard Rock Casino Hollywood, Florida. Y aquí tenemos la presencia del presidente de Bellator, Bjorn Rebney. Tonight, we spoke about it before. We said that this card was going to be incredible, and it did not live down. It was definitely on point with the excitement. How ecstatic are you with the way everything went down?
Just completely thrilled. I mean, I've been watching this game since 1993, since the first UFC shows, and I've watched Pride throughout their whole, birth and climb and then decline. I've watched, God, I've probably seen 1,000 mixed martial arts fights, between everything we've done and everything I've watched on TV. That Chandler-Alvarez fight's the best fight I've ever seen. Best fight I've ever seen. I mean, I can literally say now when people ask me, what's the best fight you've ever seen? I can say Chandler-Alvarez. And Hector's knockout of Prangley was spectacular. Jessica Aguilar and Lisa Ellis, that was a great fight. Marlon Sandro's fight was great. He got clipped and came back with, it's just, every one of the fights was great. But, Chandler-Alvarez just, that was spectacular. That was a great, if you have never seen a mixed martial arts fight, man, watch that. We're putting it right up now on YouTube and Spike.com and Bellator.com. Check it out. It's the best fight I've ever seen.
No, without a doubt. And going to the Jessica fight, Jessica, again, it was a war, and a lot of things that people say is that the women fighters, they always bring you a great war of a fight. And Jessica asking for that Megumi fight, she wants to take that ranking of #1, obviously, and then obviously everybody wants to see that rematch with the Zoila Frausto fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think right now that we're closer to seeing maybe the Megumi fight than the Zoila fight. Yep. But how do you see any of these fights coming together, and by when do you think this could be possible?
Wow. Jessica Aguilar made a really strong statement tonight about how she deserves to fight the best in the world. I mean, she was sitting at 2, Lisa was sitting at 3, and Megumi's at #1, and she just beat, #3 convincingly. So, Megumi's got a knee injury that she's been working herself through. She's getting back to being 100%. As soon as she gets back, we'll start talking to her and bring her over here to fight Jessica. I think it'd be an awesome fight between literally, if not the 2 best, surely 2 of the top 3 women fighters in the world. I mean, they're both hugely talented. But I'd love to make that fight in early 2012.
Now, obviously, Eddie Alvarez, a much heart that he put into this fight, without question. That comeback from the first round, the coming clean. I mean, in my perspective, I thought he won the 2nd and 3rd round. That 4th round, Michael Chandler came back like a new man. I mean, did you even expect that happening? And that whole fight, just incredible.
Chandler's got huge heart. It comes from a wrestling background, and you see that in a lot of wrestlers. You see a lot of wrestlers that have got unbelievable heart, unbelievable gas. They've got an ability to just keep coming and coming and coming. And that's what he did. I mean, it was just he was able to find that second wind that a lot of fighters never find. And sometimes in a 5-round fight, you're right. I mean, he came out like gangbusters in 1, and he got kind of pushed back in 2 and 3, and then 4 he came out and he was just dominant. He got all of his energy back. He got his force back. He got his explosion back. He was back on his toes, and he brought it. I mean, it was just it's just unbelievable to see. I just think that his performance tonight, there are a lot of great fights out there. But to put on a fight like that against a guy that is as good as Ed Alvarez was and is just spectacular. Mike Chandler just planted his flag in the landscape of MMA.
And definitely now with Eddie, what would be next for him? I mean, obviously this would be a minor setback in him, but what's next for Eddie? I mean, obviously it's probably too soon to start jumping too much forward, but what do you see being the plan now?
Eddie has got the biggest heart of any fighter I've ever met. And my assumption would be that Ed Alvarez will crawl over broken glass and through fire to get another shot at Mike Chandler. So, we'll sit down with Ed, we'll talk. I'm sure he's going to take some time off. This was a brutal fight. Get his feet back under him, and we'll talk with him. Ed is incredibly smart and knows what he wants and knows how to get it. And I'll just sit down and talk with him man-to-man, and we'll figure out what's the best next step for Ed. And my hope is that he'll compete in our next lightweight tournament, which would be great because that's the quickest road to get back to Mike Chandler.
Definitely. And Bjorn, again, incredible night you had here at Hard Rock Casino Hollywood, Florida. Definitely Bellator 58 lived up to beyond the expectations, in my belief, and definitely congrats on a great event. Definitely congrats.
I appreciate it.
Visit El Octagono for all the latest in MMA, news, fight results, interviews, live event coverage, podcast, and video capsules. All this and much more in Spanish. Find all your MMA needs here inside El Octagono, the #1 source dedicated 100% to MMA in Spanish. eloctagono.com